Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Tom Hayden here with Tyros. We got another Champions Path Draft League Coaches Interview Series coming out. And boy, do we got a good one today. I am so excited for this one. We got one of the coolest coaches, I got to say, added to the CPDL. He's an awesome TCG guy on Twitch. He's just got ranked 22 on the ladder on the first day it opened. I was so proud of him. So happy to see that. And we got Professor Koji on, ProfKoji on Twitch, Koji underscore KPTV on Twitter. And Koji, let's get right into it. How about you introduce yourself to the league? Tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about your Pokemon history.
All right, what's up, man? Hey, what's up, Tyros? What's up, Tom? My name
Oh,
is Professor Koji, as you know, and I've coached the Carolina State War Turtle. We had a little rough season this year, but it was my first draft league ever. It's the first time I've ever played in a draft league, so I learned a lot this season. I started playing Pokemon just like everybody, a lot of people, when it came out in daycare. I was in daycare, after school programs.
yeah,
Um, and I played
same.
Pokemon Red and Blue. Then Silver was the one I was actually able to get my hands on first as a child with a Game Boy Color,
Let's go.
the clear purple one. And so Lugia is my favorite Pokemon because of that. That ties into that. But anyway, I so my competitive, like I've been a competitive. My parents play gaming like a lot, like Mario and Mario Kart, and even my mom plays Call of Duty up to this day. So it's
Let's
like in
go.
my blood. And so during the platinum era, me and my friend Fallout in the chat on my Twitch, his real life name is Brentley. We started battling each other, and that's back when you had to EV train your own Pokemon and
Yep.
yada yada yada. It was a struggle. I did have an I had an action replay, but it was a struggle, man, because we would cheat. We wouldn't cheat, but we would cheat Pokemon in the game. Like I would never cheat like shinies or anything, but I would cheat like a champ in the game because he yields 3 attack IVs, right? And I would
Yeah.
I'd battle a level one Machamp for hours to get those attack IVs, etc. Chansey HP. I remember some of them. Gengars for special attack, I think, or Alakazam or something like that. But we just cheat them in the game, and that we'd EV train and actually play competitive. So my competitive roots go back to Platinum, Pokemon Platinum.
Holy shit, that's amazing.
Yeah, I was playing competitive online. There was a battler named Killer Nacho. I don't know if he still does battles, but his name was Killer Nacho, and it was when I first discovered YouTube too, right in high school, as a senior or junior. We discovered YouTube. That was back in 2010, 2009, 2010. Wasn't really the hugest thing. It was just an up and coming, which is crazy to talk about. Like YouTube's everywhere, but I remember when it was not popular, when like you just listen to music on LimeWire or, you know, like
Oh my God,
um
LimeWire just,
yeah.
oh God. I
But yeah,
heard the
so
sound of my computer crashing.
I did too, from the Linkin Park meme with the half of it caps, half of it not caps, and no misspelled. Dot exe. Let me click this on my parents' computer and just cost them $1,000 real fast. But yeah, I remember those days well. I know you remember those links.
Yeah, I love it. Oh my
Like I,
God.
I can't find this song anywhere. And here's capital L, little I, capital N, KN Park.
I
But yeah,
crashed my mom's computer downloading 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying.
that's pretty funny. Get rich or die trying. I guess the computer died trying, huh?
It did. It really did.
Oh, but yeah. As far as me, I'm a printing engineer in real life. I print bread bags. It's not that exciting, but it's what I do. So I have a full schedule. I have a stepchild and a fiance, and then I'm just a competitive gamer. I've been on. I want to use the word professional lightly, so I'll say semi-professional Call of Duty teams. Um,
Let's go.
Back in 2011, and then from there I moved to Overwatch competitively. I was Call of Duty for a while. I went to Overwatch in 2017. I missed the first season of it. I thought it looked kind of weird as a game. Um, and then I made it up to like the master rank in that. Um, and I went to California for that. I played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh since my freshman year of high school, where I traveled for Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if people know that about me. I played Yu-Gi-Oh. I played at nationals in Chicago. I played at nationals
Oh
in
wow.
Detroit. I topped YCS Atlanta um, in 2017. Um, got top 32 cut. It's not really like a top, like a top 8, but I got top 32 cut there. I've played in Ohio. I played in Tennessee. I played in Virginia at tournaments. Um, I played in. Been to California. Trying to think. Indiana. Yeah, I played a ton of play. We used to travel and tons of Charlotte, North Carolina. When I say tons, I mean hundreds of events at Charlotte, North Carolina. With a few wins under my belt. At
Let's
regionals,
go.
stuff like that. So I have a very gaming, competitive background.
I
Not
want to
just
pull
in
on that
Pokemon.
thread real quick. I told you we might just ask random questions other than the ones we send you.
Yeah,
So,
that's
what
fine.
is your favorite game you played competitive? Can you just tell us a random story about any good story you got about random competitive gaming, and just tell us a little bit about your favorite game too, if you don't mind.
All right. Well, I play a lot of Pokemon, but I didn't always play a lot of Pokemon. Like even up until really you guys, I went to Pokemon as a safety. I think that's the word I'll use, like a safety net escape from Overwatch, mentally, where Overwatch is
Wow.
just very demanding mentally. I was putting in tons of work on Overwatch. I don't know if you guys know what it takes to be like on an FPS game to go what I would consider pro or even so like semi-pro, but it's like
I can't even
12-hour
imagine.
days. 12-hour
Yeah,
days. A fun fact about myself that again, you probably wouldn't know, is like I have tennis elbow in both my elbows
that's not
from
good.
from Overwatch, from Call of Duty, from like gaming so much, doing so much practice and stuff. And this is not
Whoa.
bogus either. This is legit. Um,
Like professional athletes complain that's some of the worst elbow injuries they have
well, it's
just on
like
the day to day.
you can ask some of my come in my chat sometimes. You'll see randomly. You'll see physics. You'll see Fallout. You'll see there's like an XX appraiser. He comes in there. They all played with me, and
I love that.
they were like I another side. We're going to get sidetracked today, boys. But I used to
Yes,
back
yes.
in 2017 I built the PC, and I had an apartment, 2-bedroom apartment, and I lived there with my ex girlfriend, and she worked like on a short schedule, like 4 to 6 hours a day. And I still work the same job I have now, but it was nighttime. So, dude, on my days off, just like it is now, I would wake up like I'd get off work at 7 a.m. and I would wake up at noon. I'd get home and go to sleep by 8, and wake up at noon, and take her to lunch, do whatever. But then I would play till like midnight or 2.
Oh
from
wow.
like from like 2. I remember sessions where like I was on a team and we made a team house out of my apartment. I have pictures I can load in the Discord for you guys later. I didn't even think about this, but there were 6 PCs in my second bedroom in my apartment, and we were on a team. And I remember them telling me that um I needed to learn. I played a lot of Winston. They were trying to transition me to DPS, and they were like, "We need you to learn Genji." And that's where I got like they could tell you stories of me laying in the bed, and they would wake me up because it's team house, right? I made them all a key. Like I trusted my friends and stuff. My girl lived with me, but it was like no big deal. We trusted each other, and they would tell stories. They could still tell stories of the dedication I had of like my friend Ryan, who is AKA Physics in the chat. He will tell you
Shout out
stories of
physics.
yeah, shout out Physics. He will tell you stories like multiple times. He would wake me up. Like I'd tell him, just wake me up. I work nighttime. Sometimes I'd nap during the day. He would come over after work at like 3 o'clock, 3 p.m. Eastern, and wake me up. And he would be like, my ex would be at work, and he would be like, "Hey man, let's time to get our first practice of the day." And the other guys got off at 5 Eastern, so me and him would practice a little bit and then get ready for the next guys. Well, dude,
Oh, I love that.
several times he could tell you he woke me up and I'm like sitting there and he's like, "Why do you have an ice pack on your elbow? Why are you sleeping on an ice pack?" And I'm like, "Dude, I can't fucking sleep unless my elbow is on," because the keyboard, you're sitting there constantly WASD, yada yada yada. So especially on like Genji or something. So doing that 8 to 12 hours a day, it takes it out of you. So I went to Pokemon to escape the grind, and I guess
Found a whole
finally
new
hang up the
grind.
cleats. Well, mentally, that's why I get so ill at it because I'm very passionate about it. If I didn't care, then I wouldn't care about certain things that I go through on the ladder. But but yeah, I would say yes. I found a whole new grind as far as mentally. I wasn't ready to hang up the competitive cleats, if that makes any
Yeah,
sense to you guys.
absolutely.
Just
No,
physically,
it absolutely makes sense.
I was. If that, and I'm not saying the elbow holds me back. I'm saying like I was kind of done with the game. My friends had moved on to Valorant or other games, and I I was going to go to Smash Brothers Ultimate and be the best Pikachu in the world. I have a notepad where I could show you that. It says you're going to be the best Pikachu in the world, and I'd wake up and I'd train that, and then I just gravitated back to Pokemon because I love shiny hunting throughout Overwatch, throughout all my competitive Call of Duty. I always would shiny hunt in the background, and I'd always go back and play Soul Silver, or I'd always go back and play X. That's one of my favorite games for some reason on the 3DS would be X.
It's
Um,
fun.
yeah, it's just it was calming, and I would play it, and I could sit on the couch. And now competitively with stepchild and everything going on, it's kind of neat that I can go down and compete on my couch, compete upstairs on my stream setup, take it to the beach and go compete if I get that itch. So it's just worked out. And then Bihani happened to find me, at the right time. I was
So happy
um,
about that.
yeah. If you guys didn't know that, that was my first night back on VGC. I bet he doesn't even know that. It's
Let's
not like
go.
I wasn't even a VG. Matter of fact, I wasn't even a VGC player. If I'm serious. Like up until like you guys, I played singles mainly, and I've made it to Master Ball on VGC with a Mudsdale Swagger team, like
That's
season 4 or
awesome.
5. But I never I didn't like VGC. I like singles better. Now I like VGC better, obviously. So for me to come from where I was to Bihani finding me, and then that's when I started training, admittedly. Like, well, I got to get good at this and familiarize myself with
And
doubles
god damn it,
better.
did you get good at this? You just got 22 ranked on the fucking ladder, man.
Well, yeah, that was some nighttime cheese, but
No,
um,
still, no, be proud of
still
that.
is good. Oh, I'm
Be
super
proud
proud
of
of
that.
it. Just
Yeah.
yeah, it's been Pop said it best. I've come a long way in a short amount of time. So I'm hoping I could fix that Carolina State War Turtle image. I'm not proud of the record, but super proud of the team. Um, that's the
Look
goal
at
this year.
So
so, dude.
transition over to the team
Yeah.
and to the draft. What was your mindset going, knowing that like this is your first draft league? What did you have any strats
Well,
coming in, or did you target anyone specifically?
so again, I'm very competitive. So I made a list, which I was debating on putting on YouTube, and I made a
Ooh.
3-sheet long list of what you need for VGC. In all seriousness, I still have it. I showed Bihani this list. Matter of fact, it's in our direct messages on Discord. Um, I saw speed tiers, and I know it's funny too to me because it's like, what's the record say, But
No,
if you look at
dude, I
my
love it.
original draft before I freaked out, and I'll go into why I freaked out and I overthought and got in my own head before I even played my first game, and I'll explain that my trades and what disaster happened there. But
Yeah.
my mindset in the draft was actually amazing, and then it got fucked in one night. So I made a list pretty much. I'm gonna try to shorten this up a little bit, but I made a long list of things you need to in detail enough to make a YouTube video on how to be a good VGC player. Then I executed that list. I felt that night. However, my friend texted me in all caps on the way home from work. The draft was set at 8 o'clock. He said, "Come to Walmart now. They have Hidden Fate CTBs." Um, So I did the entire draft, guys, and Bihani can also confirm this because he made one of the trades for me because my phone was dying and it actually died on the Excadrill trade. I did it on my phone, waiting in a line of kids that wanted Pokemon cards, like on my phone. That's how I did the draft. Like pull up the resources on my iPhone, look at what's available, go back, go and type in what the trade was. Like no computer, no comfort, just straight up on my phone buying Pokemon cards. Um, So yeah, I didn't have any specific Pokemon per se on the draft because My mindset was to get certain things, and I'm not gonna lie. As soon as I saw Incineroar available, and I just put paperwork together, basically saying, "Well, he's the highest pick VGC. I'm gonna get that." Right?
Yeah.
That's there's that was the thought process. There wasn't really like a I'm going for Xmon.
Dude, that's so freaking cool. Like, I love how you were like, you dropped everything for the ETBs. And dude, I love when I go to your channel and watch some of the TCG. I gotta admit, I haven't been watching as many Twitch streams recently, but I loved early on when I would go see you open up Pokemon cards. And
Yeah,
then
dude.
speaking of, I want to speak of your roster. You spoke of the trades. We'll get to that in a little bit. But has there been any Pokemon that surprised you on your roster the most, good or bad? Like, what Pokemon did you come in like not knowing really what it did, and then by the end of the season, you're like, "Holy shit, this is one of my favorite Pokemon."
Yeah.
But it doesn't
So
have to be one of your favorite, but like surprised you.
Pokemon that surprised me. We'll start positively.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious. I probably don't even have to say the name, and you guys could probably know what I'm talking about, which one I'm going to say.
Oh, I guess we gotta guess because he just dropped out of the call.
Oh,
I'm guessing Tentacruel.
I left the
I'm
call.
guessing Tentacruel.
You got it. It's Tentacruel. I accidentally. Tentacruel, which I knew what it did. All right, I played Tentacruel on a mono water team with Bulldoze, Choice Scarf, Dracovish. I knew what Tentacruel was capable of, but I didn't think it would be that capable. So, and I think it deserves every award it got this year. The people in Jolt's awards, they didn't really agree with it as much, but it got the votes, and it did for a good reason, man. That Pokemon came to play every single week I brought it, even in bad matchups, and it ran a support set, and he said that it basically cleaned up kills for me, but
No way.
if he watched my streams, it definitely did not. It was it three it on
You
its
Dynamaxed
support
it a
set.
lot.
Yeah, well, its support set got 3 kills that one game alone, running Giga Drain knockoff, Screech, and it got 3 kills, walling up a Suicune and something else. I forget what else it killed. So Tentacruel shined for me, obviously.
Yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say it. Well, Incineroar was a definite positive. It started off a little sketchy, but I had to always bring it, and it did work off season.
I had it
Um,
last year. I agree. You had to bring it every game. It felt like
Just
it just was too good.
it's too good. It does too much. And then I'm gonna say a very shocking one is definitely Maractus. I only brought it twice, and it didn't do much, but it just it shined when it did. Like what it needed to do, it did amazingly. Actually, and I thought it was a trash Pokemon.
And it gets Storm Drain too, right? Is that what you used it for? I actually don't remember watching you use Maractus. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I guess Storm Drain. I brought it out for the rain matchup. Almost beat Silver Broom with it, and I misplayed with it. And then,
Oh,
yeah, I guess
he's a good
Storm Drain.
competitor.
Yeah, I like Silver a
Dude, there
lot.
were so many good coaches this year. It's like I went 2-7 too, and like we had 24 good coaches, including us. Even though we went 2-7, we didn't give anyone an easy week. So it's like,
No, it was rough. Yeah, it was
yeah, this
definitely
was a
rough.
rough season. Yeah, it just wasn't in the cards this time.
Yeah, honorable mentions. Definitely Thundurus. I feel like Thundurus was great, but a little bit weak for me. But I feel like I used it wrong. Um, I had to support with it so much. I couldn't really unleash it. But that game against Snom, it was dropping, as Proto said in the chat, it was dropping bodies like left and right. That was pretty cool. They got 6 kills in that game, and it had 6 kills or 8 kills all season. So,
Put in the work.
yeah, put in the work that game. And that's about the only one. I would say Latias. I guess I could put Latias as good, but there were so many times where it held me back. Surprisingly, being, I had to run it support as well. It held me back, but it did good. I mean, I can't talk bad about it. It did good. The ones
I
that
want to
is
use Latios in the future, so that's interesting to hear.
Latios is good. It was just so much stuff I think can hit it.
Yes, that's a problem.
Like Max, can max and hit it or do stuff. But it did good. It has a good move pool. I will say we'll keep it on the positive side. Whereas the negatives, definitely Darm. I just didn't use it right because you can look at Snom and see he did. My Darm was just I just more of a singles player. It shined to me. And Excadrill definitely goes positive. By the way, I barely brought him, but when I did, that thing crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for the most part, I didn't bring a lot of like different stuff. Like T-Tard let me down. The fighting weakness was so hard to deal with in a draft league where you've got a whole week to prepare for somebody. Whereas on the ladder, I made it to rank 1200 with T-Tar last season. It's one of my favorite Pokemon.
The body presses surprised me how a body press can KO T-Tar.
Yeah, that 4 times weakness is just insane, man. And usually fighting's hitting on the physical side. T-Tar's getting all those special buffs. So that has a little bit to do with it as well. And then Incineroar, I'm actually going to put on the negative side as well as the positive side. He gets both just because there's so many weeks where I had to bring him and he's that good. And then it's like I have to deal with Defiant. And I understand that you just don't bring that Pokemon, but that was definitely a drawback to where it's like that's my best Pokemon that I can't bring unless I bring him suboptimal, like a Blaze set. Or you get what I'm saying? So that kind of he teeters the fence on both. Too good not to bring, but I should have played around Defiant better. It's probably more so on the coaching side, I would say. But I just for labeling Pokemon, and the rest of them, nothing shocked me. Nothing, even though my record doesn't show. I don't think anything really hardcore underperformed. Where it's like he's playing with this Pokemon, that's a throw. I never felt that way.
Yeah.
Sweet. What? So going over to your trades now. I think the biggest surprise that I saw for the trade was Dusclops for Thundy.
Yeah.
Thundy that ended up turning out not too shabby with Thunderous with it getting six brings and 8 kills. But you definitely made some trades. I think you spread them out pretty evenly throughout the season too, if I remember.
No, I did not. I blew him in the first week.
Blew in the first week.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go over. Yeah, it was rough. I had a rough season.
That rush in the first week for trades was unreal. Like I think there was probably close to 30 trades total in that first week.
Yeah,
it was unbelievable.
Yeah. These trades, man. These trades. So let's start with why I made them, and then we'll go over like a mental mistake, just being unfamiliar with the game, and then we'll go from there. So first and foremost, I made Fox, the Devil Fox. It made me trade it. I'm not gonna lie. I watched the show. I was all hyped for playing behind him first round, and I took it too seriously. He was like, "Yeah, he doesn't have prediction show." He says he doesn't have a speed check for Dragapult. Dragapult just run over his team, and I was like, "Holy crap, I don't." And then Proto messaged me because he was my coach, and he was like, "Yo, if you look at my original team, Claydol, Vikavolt, Raichu, Dusclops, and look at what I had: Incineroar, T-Tar, Braviary, Rotomo, Tentacruel, Excadrill, Eldegoss." He was like, "What do you do against a Dracovish? It just runs through your entire team." And I was like, "Yeah, it does actually. Like, I could wall it with Tentacruel and do some, stuff on Dusclops, but for the most part, it walls my team." So I was under the impression these first 2 trades were specifically for Bihani and a later on down the road I had to play a Dracovish and United. So I was like, well, I can go ahead and knock these out. But I told Proto I will save my last 2 trades and I'll do a mega trade is what I told Proto. And he was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And what I thought you could do is, and you can confirm this with Bihani, I thought you can make multiple transactions in a trade. Like you got 4 trades, and then that was it. As long as I stayed within the tiers, because I kept telling Bihani, well, I want to add Cinescorch and this and that, and he was like, well, you can't. You can do that, but you're still too physical, like because we were talking about how physical my team was. And then me and him kind of didn't understand. I thought maybe he thought I was being stubborn, but wanting to add the Center Scorch or wanting to do this. And I was like, no, I can do this, 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 and that, and we're good. He's like, how? You only have 2 trades. And that's when it clicked. I was like, wait, is it 1 Pokemon a trade? He's like, yeah.
Yep.
That's when it clicked. So then if you go back and look at my team adds to why I traded Dusclops, you're just looking at Incineroar, T-Tar, Dusclops, Raichu, Darmanitan, Maractus, Tentacruel, Excadrill, Eldegoss, and Rotomo as my team. What Pokemon really abuses Trick Room at that point?
Yeah, none.
None. As a matter of fact, the ones that kind of could play in it are like at that worst speed tier, like T-Tar and Incineroar,
Yeah.
Braviary. They were at that speed tier that's like, sure, it could be effective versus like something blisteringly fast, but for the most part, yeah, you're just screwing
They're
yourself.
mid tier. Yeah.
Where I used to have Kaleido and Vikavolt.
Oh.
So the idea was, well, I don't need as hard as this is to do. I don't need Trick Room. Like I
That makes
can't really
sense.
abuse it. I have to get something that could support me, and that's when we saw Latios could hard set the sand, which never came
Yeah.
up. But I could hard set sand with Lottie. Lottie could Mystical Fire. It could Tailwind. It was a somewhat of a form of speed control. It
Ally
could
switch.
Ally Switch. It bulldozed my Tentacruel. It bulldozed my T-Tar. And then the
Yeah.
Thunder, same thing. I could bring it physical. I could bring it special. I could taunt. I could prankster. I could life orb, assault vest. You know, it made me versatile on that end. But yeah, I lost all my speed control.
Yep.
So yeah, those trades sucked. They still haunt me. You know, if I just played, even if I just left my team alone and seen how the team was versus, you know, Bihani, I could have ally switched the body press game 2. You know, I could have with a Dusclops.
Yeah.
I could have just stalled him up a little bit. You know, Darm never really came in handy for me on my team. Raichu could have came in handy with Tentacruel. How many sets did you see I run with Tentacruel? Where switching a Raichu, you know. Plus my team was very weak to ground, which will not
Yeah.
happen next season because it's also very weak to ice by me avoiding ground. If you look at my team, it looks like I don't know what I'm doing for sure. I think I have
I don't
5
think that.
ice weaknesses. Yeah, I have 6 ice weaknesses in a
It'll be-
draft league.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think there's a lot of learning that went on this season with a lot of the new players, and I think it will make next season super interesting.
And I
Oh,
want to
for
hop
sure.
on that too. What was your first impression of this draft league? This being your first?
I was really impressed with it. Honestly, I wouldn't want to be a part of another one. I'll say that. I think this is home. This is a good group of guys. Fair. The leaders are great. I kind of wish I knew Fox a little better than I do. That's my own fault though. I know he's busy and stuff. He's got a life. Me and Biani got pretty close. Me and Tom, me and you know, got close. Tyros helped me
Love talking
when
to
you
you,
helped me
man.
prep. It was super fun. You know, no, it was though. It felt like we were friends when we prepped, and even now. But I'm saying like it wasn't awkward. So yeah, I felt like I got a good group of guys, United and Pops, and you know, I
We
don't want
really
to
got
not name
lucky.
drop anybody. I mean, KD, Anti, Jolt, B Nanners, whatever.
Everyone.
You know, name drop
There's
everyone
a
in
good
here.
group of
Jade,
guys. No,
it is
Behaney
like
found a good, and Behaney and Fox are building a great community here, and like we
absolutely.
appreciate that so much. And hearing you say that, everyone that's been coming on has really been saying that too, which is so cool to hear, man. It really
Yeah,
is. So shout out to those guys, man.
hard work shows, and their hard work pays off for sure.
And the Google Docs does not look easy to keep up with either. You know, like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
we
for
really
sure.
appreciate that. Yeah, man.
Sweet. So,
Yeah.
going for any ideas going forward? Like, is there anything like, is there one thing that you would like to change, or that you think you're gonna really look at going into next season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna preserve my trades. Definitely
Yep.
gonna preserve my trades.
That's my goal
That's
too. So you're not alone
that's
with that one.
that's number one. Number two is I mean, like I told everybody from the get go, when I hopped on this ranked ladder, it was to get better. So that's why I played 400 games last season on my Switch, and I don't know how many games on Showdown. Probably upwards of 600 games, season 9 in a month.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, shit.
my goal is to not. I don't want to. There's a fine line I've got to walk by saying this because I don't want to be arrogant, but I'm not here to take part in the league. Like I'm here to take over. Does that make sense? I don't want to
Yeah.
be a
Let's
moderator.
go.
I don't want to be a moderator or anything like that. But I want to be number one. I don't want you to want to play me week 1, week 2, week 7, week 9. Um, that's my goal. Consistency and just how do we beat this guy? That's the outlook for me this season. That's my idea. My idea is to just build a consistent team. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to pop off and have the coolest, neatest strategy. It just has to be consistent. And that's what we're aiming for this season is we're preserving our trades. We're going to be consistently I'm not settling for I want to at least take some people to game 3, show I can hang with them. No, I'm wanting to
Let's go.
demoralize my opponents that week and to where you don't want to play me in the playoffs and the next guy doesn't want to play me and the next guy doesn't want to play me. And it's hard.
I love
That's
that.
Pokemon. It's Pokemon.
That's Jax right now. I think that's Jax is a guy you don't want to face in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
everyone's been picking against him. And dude, it's like, let's go. And I want to talk about that real quick. So throughout the season, were there any matchups that stick out that were the most challenging throughout the year?
Challenging matchups throughout the year. Definitely Bihani week 1. That sucked. That was the challenge. Preparing for what was it? Proto. Proto would probably be my worst match of the year, only because I don't think you guys have to understand. I had to play a guy who has played competitive Pokemon with me for years.
Yeah.
Then he coached my team, this team that I'm playing him with, for weeks, right?
Yeah.
And then on top of let's go on top of that, and he knows how frustrated I am with my performance with my team and what exploits my team.
Because he's been helping you
know
try
what
to
I mean?
fix it.
Right. So that was my absolute number 1 hardest matchup, just because of the circumstances. And then as far as things to deal with, it'd probably have to be Jade. All those sleeps and just bulkiness of the Gudra and just that was hard. That was hard to deal with. And then Snom would be a close second just because Reggie Gigas is and Wheezing. That's a nightmare to prepare for what I had. So Stom would be a close second as far as preparation. That was a challenge. Throughout the match, it was surprisingly smooth. I just tossed away game 1 and game 3, what happened. Where I maxed a little early, but I felt like that match was super hard. It stands out to me for a match to prep for. It was rough.
Sweet. What is good, looking back throughout this season? What was your favorite? I always like talking about different tech and how people bring to the match or how they prep for something. So what do you think was the coolest thing that you brought this season?
Coolest thing I brought. See, I felt like my team was super linear. That's what sucks. I didn't really, maybe early on, I would say definitely the trick Rotom was working for me. I did some neat stuff and I just fell away from it. The trick Choice Scarf Rotom, shutting down P2s and shut down even Bihani's weakness policy off his growths, and did some neat stuff. But for the most part, I mean, I don't feel my sets were really wow. Other than the weakness policy in Incineroar would be probably my standout moment of wow, this
I
play's
beat
about
Fox
to take
with
balls.
that last year. I beat Fox with that last year.
It was like, I'm nervous to bring this. Well, let's go. I guess that would be the one. And it was like that. I guess we could say that was my favorite tech because
let's go.
If you look throughout the season, I really didn't do anything crazy. You know what I mean? I was kind of standard by the book. Even Tentacruel, I mean, that's how you run them.
I love the way you run them.
I mean, yeah, but that's just the way that you run them, either AV or weakness policy. I thought it was kind of more widely known. Kind of cool that it wasn't. I'll just go ahead and say it. I definitely would like to have him next season, but I feel like somebody probably will gun for him earlier on.
Yeah, Tommy Tentacles is coming for him.
Yeah, Tommy Tentacles. But yeah, definitely the weakness policy in Cineroar said. I remember that one being super fun. And super, I was super confident in that. Aerodactyl was unfortunate, but the rest of his team was going to get slapped by it. And I feel like that was a cool set to run where we
Yeah.
procced it. Or even Maractus, Sucker Punch, Latios would be a close second too. I forgot
That's
about that
so
one.
cool. That's a good one. And dude, we're actually like running out of time right now. I hate to say it, man.
Oh yeah, you're
You
good.
have- yeah, we're about to do two more. We're about to film one with Arceus and then one with Proto. So I'm so excited for today.
Heck
And
yeah.
do you have any last words before we get out of here, man? Like, thank you so much for giving us your time. This was awesome. This was so much fun, so informative. I love your video game background, by the way. Like, that's something I didn't know until today. That's so cool how you got into VGC and how Behaney found you. I love how Behaney's growing this league. And I just want to say thank you for your time and any last words.
Yeah, it's just thank you guys, everybody that's a part of it. Thanks for definitely finding me and inviting me. I just look at it as meant to be. It's one of the things that you can believe in that or not.
I love it.
Things are meant to be, but it just kind of was because that was my first night back on VGC. I was running a Moltres team. Um, I was like, shit, I don't know, 4-1 on the ladder with it or something, climbing through Pokeball. I haven't even played the game in a long time. And he was like, hey man, want to be in a draft league? And I was like, sure, cost money. I don't care. Let's play. Fuck it, and that's kind of where,
Let's have
where it
some
went.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that happened too.
Yeah, me too,
And
man. But
Tyros,
yeah, just thank you guys. That's that would be my ending statement. Just I'm grateful. Thanks for letting me be a part of it in all phases, from doing the slides sometimes to uh, general chat to just shout
we
me
didn't
out
even
on the videos and stuff
yeah,
like
we
that.
didn't even talk about the recap show. I appreciate you so much for taking that over while I was in California. Behaney was busy with school. Tyros and Fox were busy too. And I was like, hey, Behaney, can we put it out to the public and see if anyone in general wants to pick it up? And the fact that you picked it up and ran with it, I loved that so much, man. I really do appreciate that.
Oh, no
That was
problem.
so good.
I think that makes our league stand out, is having something like that weekly to look forward to. Like some people you could have a excuse me, you could have a bad week or just rough life or whatever, but the recap show's coming, and if you won that week especially, you're like, man, I can't wait to see what they say about me. What they got
That's
going
so
for me
cool.
next week.
That's so cool.
Heck yeah. Well, you guys have good luck with your future interviews, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Thanks
Yeah,
for
and Tyros, any last words? Sorry.
yeah, thanks for coming on, Coach. I always love watching our streams. I'm lurking lots of times, but it's always good chatting with you, and thanks for doing this, man.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. Appreciate the support as well.
Oh, I love going to the streams. I got to start watching more. I've been busy recently. But again, thank you so much. I'm going to end my recording here. And done and done. This was awesome, man.